Howdy. So in this video, I want to talk about the importance of not chasing. Now, this is something I've done a lot in the past, and I have to continually remind myself of the importance of not chasing. So this is going to be some practical advice, as well as a bit of maybe not so practical, spiritual type of rambling. Anyway, let's do it. So when it comes to attraction, whether it's attracting a partner, a job, an opportunity, whatever it is, I've noticed that the more I've tried to force it to work in my favor, and I've talked about this in the last few videos, it's very top of mind for me right now, the less it's actually happened. Because the reality is, I know this sounds cliche, but the things that are meant for you will work out. It shouldn't be hard. Now, the common bit of advice that I feel like is unproductive is just be yourself. I don't like that, because what if you're being yourself and you're not seeing results? Then it's not so much about not being yourself, it's about building better habits, presenting yourself in a better light. We all have gifts, we all have unique personality traits. It doesn't mean we can't be better, we can't become better. If you're a fat slob and you mumble when you speak and you smell bad, being yourself isn't working. If that is yourself, that's not yourself, that's a weaker version of yourself. So really the advice should be become the best version of yourself that you can be at the present moment, right? So if that means buying some new clothes that fit better, and that's the best version of yourself you can be in this moment, then do that. And continue to level up, as it were. And you'll find as you level up, and I can't be the judge of what level you're on, I think that's a kind of a bad game to play in itself, to compare yourself to other people's levels. What you can do is surround yourself with people who are where you want to be. And at first, you might not have any value to offer, in which case you might have to hire them as a mentor, or in some way provide them with value of some sort. Once you do that, your orbit is surrounded by better players of the game, whether it's the finance game, the romance game, whatever the game is. You then, by virtue of association, become better. You're brought up. A rising tide lifts all boats, they say. So you have to find the right tide. Once you do that, then the opportunities around you get better. You become more confident, and you're able to present yourself in a better way, so that yourself, your authentic self, can shine through brighter. See, I always used to think, when it came to, let's say, romantic attraction, that I had to use a certain line, or that I had to strategize a certain way. But every time I found success in that area, it's been by being indifferent. And this is something I'm learning a lot about recently, is one of the most attractive traits you can display is indifference, where you really don't care if it goes well or it doesn't, because you have this inner knowing that regardless of whatever happens, I'll be good. And that in itself is one of the greatest and strongest traits you can adopt, is that indifference. Doesn't mean you don't care, but it means that if it doesn't work out, you're gonna be fine. And that's kind of where that security comes from. And when people feel that, they're like, oh, this guy's got it handled, they can then relax. Especially the feminine can surrender and relax into your masculine frame. And so again, this is something I have to remind myself of, because it's so easy to get caught up in like, well, I really want this, or I want to be with this person, and then try to shift how I act around them. But they can feel that. People are intuitive. They can feel when there's a shift, or when you're trying too hard. And when you're trying too hard at anything, it's very obvious. And so cultivating this state of indifference is important when it comes to attracting opportunities. Even when it comes to jobs. I mean, I applied to a ton of jobs recently. Some of them I got rejected from. Most I didn't hear back from. And the ones that I did hear back from, that I'm going through that interview process with, I feel indifferent, honestly, because to me it's just like a job with a title, and it's they're all the same to me. And maybe that sounds a bit jaded, but that's just how I view it. I mean, my goal is to be free of jobs in general, and this is part of the documenting that journey. But that's another topic for another video. But yeah, I just look at them all like they're all the same. So whether I get one or the other, so be it. Now, once you become more experienced, or maybe you will really sit down and just think to yourself, like, what do I actually want? That's an important question too, because you might be chasing the wrong thing in order to fill like a temporary hole or gap. Whether it's like you're craving some sort of sexual companionship or friendship, whatever it is, you really need to establish and discover for yourself what you're looking for. Because if you're looking at, again, this is kind of a contradiction of what I just said, but if you're not really looking for anything in particular, you'll just take whatever comes, then it doesn't really matter. But once you gain more experience in any of these markets, then you're like, oh, I actually want this. This is what I'm looking for. And then your mind starts to filter out all the other ones. So I am becoming more attuned to like, okay, my time and my attention are finite, and I only have so much of it. Where do I want to spend it? Who do I want to spend it with? And how do I shorten the gap between idea and execution? So it's like, okay, I see this person, I want to hang out with them, they don't want to, okay, cool, moving on. And like just kind of like, and making that more seamless. So it's this process of being unattached, still putting your intention out there, but being indifferent to the outcome. So yeah, hopefully this has been of some help. These are things I'm learning and thinking about lately, and just reminding myself. And a lot of my algorithm has been popping up with Christian stories, and I grew up in a Catholic school system, so I'm a little averse to that sort of things. But there are some really powerful stories from the Bible, and all different religions have really. I love stories, so these stories are really interesting. And the one that popped up was the story of Samson and Delilah. This one video, and I mean, I love how the YouTuber made the video, but also just the idea of not giving up your strength for a woman, or for anyone at that matter, and being focused on yourself first and foremost. What's best for me? So, more ruminations to come. In the meantime, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.